Hey, nerds! It's Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Geeks of Cascadia. Exclusive tabletop game podcast for the Pacific Northwest. All levels of gamers. Analog gaming. Tabletop news. Dungeons and Dragons and magic. Stupid, mindless banter.
There will definitely be some. That's probably our best. That's our best feature.
Hey geeks, Blue Samurai here. It's episode 57.
57, like the ketchup.
Wow.
Yes.
Catsup.
Yes. I am with
Rebeculous. And I am with...
I am still Paul.
and we have a lovely episode for you today.
It's just darling.
Yes,
Yeah.
tiny and cute.
It's cute.
We've got our good friend, famous game designer, David Gerrard.
Yes.
Will be with us.
Always fun to talk to.
And we have a vendor, right?
A vendor?
Well, not vendor.
He
Sorry, I say
is
vendor.
he is an
'cause
artist.
Yes, he's an artist.
It's
Yes.
Kyle.
Woodworker.
From Item Woodworks. He hand makes dice boxes and dice cages using only hand tools, no power tools.
Just uses his hands. He
Yes,
karate
yes, they
chops
Yes.
these boxes and stuff.
And the
Uses
letters
reclaimed
and
wood,
everything,
so
right?
it's
Yes.
totally cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Reclaimed from where?
Reclaimed from old unused wood. Being from
Haunted basilicas.
maybe you
cool
pay
things
extra
like
for that. I think if you want your dice to be cursed, then you get the haunted ones.
Is he the one with the dice jail? I can't remember.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's dice jail.
You need some dice jail.
I need some dice jail. I need like that 5 dice jails.
When I'm DMing, I need a dice jail.
Yes, definitely.
I don't know what the deal is with that.
I did the same thing for me last week. It's like
Why is that?
I don't
Do you
know.
think subconsciously we just
I think you're psyching yourselves out.
want the players?
well,
to have a
I
good
do
time?
use entirely different dice.
You do?
Yeah, I use the dice that came in the starter kit and the essentials kit when I'm DMing.
It's all random. I almost called you guys bad words. It's all random, cornholes. Is that a censored
I thought
word?
you were the cornhole master.
Cornhole.
You won the cornhole tournament.
I did pretty well at cornhole.
Yes.
Those were good times.
Oh, yeah, it was a good day.
Throwing axes, playing cornhole.
Drinking beer.
Yeah.
Hashtag Everett.
Yes. But those are not tabletop games.
No.
But if you want to check out tabletop games, you got to go to a convention. You don't have to, but we go to conventions.
You go to your game store.
This is a horrible segue, but I'm trying. Paul, what do you got
yes.
for?
What I have
Axe
is once
throwing
again,
could
as you
be a
would
tabletop game
expect. There we
It
go.
could be.
if you make it one.
Well, there's not a whole lot going on in tabletop gaming
Okay.
in the Pacific Northwest this upcoming couple weeks. We do have some fun conventions, though. We've got Washington State Toy Show in Puyallup at the fairgrounds, November 2nd. It looks really cool. They've got a bunch of vintage and modern toys and collectibles.
Look at the abs on Lionel.
Well, Lion-O is ripped. Well, so is the Incredible Hulk.
They are all ripped, huh? His
Yeah.
hair, though, his hair.
These guys aren't ripped, though. They're like stormtroopers or something.
I can't tell if she's ripped.
I know, she's got it's a weird cobra thing on her head. I don't understand what's
Do
going
you
on
know
there.
what little super heroine that is with the little cobra thing on her head?
No.
Okay, it's vintage and modern toys sold over 100 vendors featured at 150 plus tables. Toys, action figures, die-cast, Legos, collectibles, video games, comic books. And it's early bird ticket holders at 9 and then 10 a.m. for all local people.
Oh my god, that
For
would make
all
me drool.
regular
That
people.
just seems actually really fun. Where is that?
That is at the
Washington State Fair.
Puyallup,
Booyah.
Puyallup, Washington, the Washington State Fairgrounds.
Many
Yes.
different ways.
Puyallup.
Puyallup is
That's
how
awesome.
we generally say it. So that's looking super fun.
That does look super fun.
Coming up in Portland, November 8th through 10th, is Oricon.
Portland, Maine?
Portland, Oregon. Did I forget to specify
You
again?
did. I just want
So
everyone to
don't
know.
go to Portland, Maine for this. And if you go to, I'm sure it's a fine place to
We
go.
do have
They
a
might
listener
have
from-
one too.
We do have a listener from North Virginia, so
Okay, well, they might go up there.
It's not Portland, Maine,
no,
but
but it's close.
But he
it's
might.
closer,
there might be one there too.
closer to Maine than to Oregon.
Yes,
Sure, Maine
certainly.
has its share of cons.
Oricon, however, is Oregon's premier fan-run annual science fiction fantasy convention held in Portland since 1979, back when science fiction was invented, I think.
Wow.
They're 100% volunteer. They're a 501c3, which is really cool. And it's going to be at the Red Line
the
at
heck
Jansen
is-
Beach.
I wonder how long it took them to get.
No.
Oh, inside joke. Anyway, what else do we
But
got going on?
we have coming up also, where's my next tab? I don't know what this is. I'm hoping one of you knows what this is. Short Run Comics and Arts Festival. I get that it's
a comics and art festival.
I don't know what short run means.
It's the opposite of a long
I mean, is it
run.
just like
It's
a
like the ones you
like,
do,
a,
like a
one
mile.
miler.
like a 4-panel comic?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it looks really cool. That is at
That looks fun.
that's in Seattle, and it's at the Fisher Pavilion at Seattle Center. It looks to me like it's free. It's on November 9th from 11 to 6, but there's also stuff happening earlier in the
If
week. So
they're
it's a little bit
not
confusing.
free, just go there and tell them that Still Paul sent you.
So Paul sent you get in for free.
Yep. There
Pretty
you
much.
go.
After they laugh at
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
a few minutes, they might let you in on a
And go to
pity.
shortrun.org to get more details on it. Their website's a little bit confusing, so you might have to dig. Other than that, there's not much going on currently. We do have coming up in January, though, and I know what days it is. It's the 10th through the 12th. OrcaCon.
Hey,
Ooh.
your
Hey,
shirt says Orca
My shirt says
on it.
OrcaCon on it.
And it's
Yes.
pink. There's a
It's
guy
pink.
who's secure.
That's right. And it's going to be super fun. We have rooms left at the OrcaCon rate, I'm pretty sure.
I got one.
You got
I
one?
finally
That's
got
great.
one.
That's
Yeah.
good. That supports the con, and you get to stay and drink if you want to.
I haven't asked for the time off yet. I better do that.
You better do that. Well,
coming
it's just Friday. You don't work on Saturday or Sunday.
No, I don't. I'm feeling sick in advance.
Yes, by the way. So it's super fun. It was cover some guests here. Our artist guest of honor is Aaron Bowersocks. You might know him as Pop Muertos. Go ahead and search that on Instagram. Very cool. We've got Misha B. Misha Bushhager is a longtime gamer and designer working on making sure the next generation of geeks sees themselves represented. Totally cool. And Sarah Guide. Sarah is a ginormous Trekkie and all-around geek. She's appeared on the Trek panels across the country and internationally. You can also catch her on various Trek podcasts, as well as Deep Space Nine documentary, What We Left Behind. So totally cool. That's just a little blurb on some of the things that are going on at OrcaCon coming up.
Neat.
And, of course, a bunch of board games.
And food trucks.
Food trucks. Always food trucks.
Gosh, I'm hungry.
I just ate. It was a salad. It was good.
Don't talk about the kinds of food trucks. It'll just make me.
There's a
Hungry.
coffee truck. Oh, you want food trucks? I can tell. I let up here pretty quick.
What did I just say?
I don't know.
Food trucks. Just go to orcacon.org and click hotel and go to food trucks. And you got Beanfish. Beanfish is the best because it's the little Japanese-filled waffle things. Little
I don't
Jig
know
of
what
Super
that is,
Dogs.
But you must.
I
right?
just nod.
Do you have those each day?
Have you
for
not had
breakfast?
them? Did you not have them? They were
course.
delicious.
No, I did not.
Oh God, they were. Everyone says this about every food truck, but these things were the best.
Okay, I will have one.
Beanfish food truck. Hunt them down.
I will do that.
It's really all I
Will
have.
we need to? Do we need to bring?
It's more fun if you hunt them down. That's the convention's most
They're
dangerous
hiding
game.
behind the cars, and you have to go find them, and then you get your meal.
And then they throw a waffle fish at you. And that's all I have for con
All
news.
right, what do we got for game news?
That's pretty thorough. Okay, well, in case you forgot, my
Wow, you
theme
did some
is
homework there.
space. Well, I try and be prepared.
Today's theme is
Every
space.
once in a while.
Space.
Today's theme is space.
Okay.
And it actually wasn't as, it was easier last week. I should have, anyway. So, first game I was looking at is called The Menace Among Us by Smirk and Dagger Games. It takes place in deep space where your ship has broken down. That is not a good thing. Not only are you floating listlessly, no lists, not even a grocery list, but there is an air leak and it's a race to repair the ship and get going again. However, there are those in the crew masquerading as loyal friends and crew members who are actually imposters and purposely trying to sabotage your ship. That's just not nice. But that's what they're doing. Their only goal is to kill the crew by force or asphyxiation. Can you identify them in time and eliminate the threat, or will you succumb to the menace among us? Dun, dun.
Bum.
Thank you. It is a 40 to 60 minute asymmetrical card game, 4 to 8 players. Each player will have a deck based on your agenda and your choice of character. This is a quote from the website. This game is more focused on how well you play versus the metagame of how well you role play your innocence, which supposedly results in a meteor strategic game. So, a thrilling, I like semi-cooperative. You don't have to cooperate if you don't want to. It's just semi-cooperative. I like to have choices. to not cooperate with others. Anyway, The Menace Among Us, Smirk and Dagger Games. That was cute. I don't have as much detail on the other ones because you had to watch videos for them all, and that was weird to me. But Oracle is a game by Brian Corbett. It is a game about the end of the universe and what creatures will survive the rebirth.
Oh, wow.
So the apocalypse is coming, and there are 5 or 6 or 7 planets, I guess however many players there are, and you have to find the Oracle. And the one who finds the Oracle first lives, and all the other planets die. And then you take on roles of aliens, and you fight to retain the Oracle and start to rebuild. And it's fighting, and it's mental stuff and strategy and fighting with actual weapons. Not actual weapons, actual pretend weapons.
So this
And,
game could be dangerous.
It could be. And it takes
Yeah.
place in space. It's Oracle. Also, a game from Pandasaurus Games called Godspeed. It's a very brief description. It says the space race was a lie. It is a strategy game set in an alternate 1960s space race. I did not watch the video.
That
to
sounds
get more
fun.
Detail. Yeah, I thought that was fun enough
So it's
just to mention.
like Capricorn 1?
Possibly.
Okay.
I think you need to perhaps check this out. Seems like you would enjoy
Sounds
it.
cool.
There's a game from Brooklyn by this gal Sarah Rowan. It's called Soothsayer. It's not really space, but it's kind of space agey, and it's 25% funded. You're reading the stars and interpreting the constellations, and you're performing celestial rituals. And I did watch the video, and I still don't know how you win. So someone will have to find that out for themselves, I guess. This doesn't technically fall into the space category, but it was so freaking cute. I actually kind of want to contribute to this one. Icarus Games, 3 Minutes to Freedom is the name of the game. It's super fast-paced. It's just a card game. It's kind of a thing where you do what the card tells you, and hijinks ensue. It's fast-paced, fun, and slightly insane, and it involves dancing sheep, alien cows, cabbages, lasers, and rockets. And I thought with the alien cows that qualified for this topic.
does.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks. The last one alive wins. Isn't that?
That's fun.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's pretty
That's
final.
good.
Every game should have that. Last one alive.
But then
wins.
you're all alone. It's early winning.
Well,
Unless you just want to read a book.
and then, yeah, you could do that, I guess. And then lastly, up on Kickstarter, Quest for Gaia. Gaia, right?
Gaia?
Gaia. So I've always pronounced it Gaia. A new world has been found. Different alien races vie to make it their new home. Each one has their own unique quirks and differences. In the end, one will reign supreme. That's what's going on in Quest for Gaia, a new board game up on Kickstarter now by someone.
Game Maker X.
Game Maker X. And you know, this isn't space related, but I just noticed as I was looking up Kickstarter stuff that our buddy, the Cats of Ulthar, his game is now up on Kickstarter, and there's
cool.
lots
Okay.
of neat little
Check that out.
things you can get.
Did
get
you
a little-
see this?
I did see that.
The Unicorn Fever that you talked about on the podcast, they are like 538% funded.
Wow.
They're like,
Color me
they
surprised.
wanted 33,000. They've got 170,000. They've got 2,702 backers.
Dude, unicorns are like the new zombies.
Yeah,
I mean,
but this is all because of
unicorns
you.
are
It's all because you mentioned it in your game segment.
It's so cute.
Wait,
Look at it.
What was the cat guy? We interviewed him,
Cats
right?
of Ulthar. Jeez. No, I'm just don't. We did a thing. We interviewed him. I interviewed him.
You interviewed him.
Oh, that's right, you did.
Now
Yes,
his name
okay.
is escaping me. Can I blame my 2 sips of beer? His name is escaping
No, I was just wondering
me.
if we interviewed him at Dragonflight, but we did not. That was a separate
There
one.
you
I
go, from
interviewed him
Gilgamesh
at
Games.
Norwestcon.
Yes.
Based on a story by H.P. Lovecraft. Do they say his? Do we say
right.
his name? Gilgamesh Games.
If you
What is
just-
his name?
If you just give me a minute.
Trenton Payne.
See, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say. But yeah, you can get, you get your usual, you get your game, or you can get a mention and whatever, depending on how much
Oh,
you
and
pledge.
holy
And then there's
smoke.
like a pine box thing that you can get if you give like, I don't know, $40 or something.
He's got 7,700 of 3,000 pledged.
That's because
So,
it's an awesome
yeah,
game.
he's an
All
awesome
his
guy.
games are awesome
Yes.
games. I've played all 3
Very
of them.
cool. This looks great.
Wow.
This
Yeah.
looks great.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come we can't do anything that cool?
Because we're lazy.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's why
we
we're
don't have
podcasting.
artistic
Yes.
talent. We have no artistic talent. Do you have artistic talent?
Speaking of, no, I don't.
No, I'm
That's why
done
doing this
with my
podcast.
segment. Thanks.
Well, actually, no,
Oh.
not yet. I just want to do a plug for us. Make sure if you have any suggestions, email us at geeksofcascadia@gmail.com or Facebook us at Geeks of Cascadia. think there's something else. Instagram, right?
Instagram was the way we put up pictures sometimes.
We have a
We'll follow
Twitter.
you. If you follow us, we'll follow you.
We have a Twitter.
That's creepy.
Yes,
We
I
do.
like following
I guess-
people.
I guess.
That's what I do. I follow
Tweet.
people.
We tweet a lot.
We tweet a little bit.
Good
Yeah.
things or constructive things, not mean things. Was
No.
really sensitive.
The mean things I say
Guys
from my
were in
personal
pink.
account.
Yeah, if you got something mean, just email stillpaul at
So,
something.
so sorry to interrupt you, but
No, I was
we
done.
always what? Okay, well then I got some more.
Oh,
I got
the-
some more space.
Yeah,
things.
yeah, add on.
Fantasy Flight
Space things.
previews a scenario of Epic Battles X-wing set. Now, if
Epic
you've ever
Bowels?
seen, not Epic Bowels, if you've ever seen people play X-wing, it's pretty much 1 versus 1, 2 squadrons facing off with one another. But what about bringing more people into the fun?
That
Oh.
sounds
That's
chaotic.
right. It's a little trickier, but not impossible. To help out, Fantasy Flight is coming out with Epic Battles multiplayer expansion. Check that out from Fantasy Flight Games.
Interesting and complicated.
It does sound complicated.
Is it 3-dimensional or is it 2-dimensional?
No, it's 3-dimensional.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Donna plays it. Does Donna play it?
Sometimes.
Somebody plays it. Yeah, and I think ETX had some tournament.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also from Privateer Press, check out they got some new figurines out apparently. In fact, it is for the Riot Quest game. New Infernals is what they call it. So Zeroth, I hope I got that right. Zartaroth, the Weaver of Shadows.
Zartaroth.
Ooh, he looks scary. Maybe we can have a picture here of the scariness. here.
You send me a link. I can never find your stuff.
Oh, okay. I will send you a link. Master Preceptor, Orin Midwinter, Infernal Command. Check that out. So anyway, there's a couple Infernal figures. Check that out at Privateer Press and see what they got. Looks like they're kind of teaming up with another company, but I can't quite read what that company is. So anyway, that's all I have.
Cool. Who should we
Oh.
talk to first? Oh, go ahead, Rebecca.
Well, I just want to say that my next podcast board review game theme
Oh,
will be
please.
scary things.
Scary things.
Why is
Okay.
it scary?
Well, I'm hoping it will maybe pop up on the air around Halloween, and then there'll be a
Oh,
little,
yeah.
obvious tie in
Ooh.
there.
Spooky.
But maybe this one will play at Halloween, and I'll be off.
Hopefully
whatever.
we'll get
It'll
this
be-
done
yeah.
in the next couple days.
So,
Okay. Well, let's do the wood guy.
Okay, I'm Kyle from
wanna
Item
rephrase
Woodworks.
Let's listen to Kyle.
All right, let's go to
All
that.
right, let's do that right about now.
phrasing.
Hey nerds, here we are again, Dragonflight, and we hooked up with Kyle from Item Woodworks. How's
Hey.
it going, Kyle?
I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
I'm great. I was looking at your stuff at your table. It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm. There are a lot of people making stuff out of wood,
Yeah.
and I come from the furniture background, so I just try to make things as handmade as possible. So
Cool.
I actually use hand planes and hand tools as much as I can.
And what kind of stuff do you make?
So I make, dice boxes, card boxes, organizers for different games like Magic or for Munchkin or for even Dominion, although that's pretty time intensive
Yeah.
because of all those slots you
Yeah,
have to
there's a lot of
make.
slots.
But Dice Dungeons, those are a lot of fun. You
Uh-huh.
gotta punish your poorly rolling dice.
Yeah.
I make status effect tiles for maps and minis games so that everyone knows who's restrained or who's poisoned. And I make a hero box, which is a little bit different. It's an old quill pen design from the 14th century. So I try to take old world techniques and bring it to my love of nerdy stuff.
And you have a DM screen as well? Do you
I
develop
don't.
those?
I'm thinking about it. I kind of like to do designs that no one has thought about yet.
Yeah.
Because that, again, comes from my furniture background.
Sure.
When you make a piece, it tends to be bespoke.
Uh-huh.
And so I want to make designs that no one has thought of. But I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out a DM screen one of these days that
Okay.
feels different enough than what another crew is doing.
That would be very
And
cool.
where are you located at?
I'm a Portland Oregoner. Oregoner?
Oh.
Yes.
Oregonian?
Yes.
I'm a Portland Oregonian.
Okay.
Although,
You're
in my
one of
defense,
those.
yeah, exactly. I'm from New York City originally,
Okay.
Oh.
by way
okay.
of some other places. My dad was an FBI agent, a G-man.
Oh.
Cool.
I moved around a lot.
Oh, I bet.
So, yeah.
Okay. How'd you get into woodworking then?
I mean, it's sort of a family thing, and I also run around with some
FBI agent and woodworking.
and woodworking. They
Okay.
go hand in hand together. Everything's got to be just right.
Yep.
You got to dot the T's and cross the I's when you're investigating
Sure.
somebody. and you gotta, it's gotta be really 45 degrees, and
Yep.
otherwise it's gonna glue up funny. So
Yeah, they're
surprisingly similar.
There's square and there's not square.
Yeah,
there's
right.
no in between.
Must be square, yes. And I have a lot of friends who make furniture in town that I went to school with, and they're all brilliant. And anything I didn't know how to do from Grandpa or from my dad or from my mom that work with wood, I learned from them. So it's just a community, just like anything else, right?
And you said you do furniture stuff. I've been, ever since Geek Chic kind of went out of business, there's kind of this
Vacuum.
opening, for somebody like yourself. But I know
There's a lot of companies out there that are still making gaming tables.
Yeah.
looking
But
for
I mean-
somebody local though. Pacific Northwest. I know there's one. We're trying to get them on here, but they're
Yeah,
kind of
well,
Yes.
I'll try again.
Try harder.
yes. What about you?
Try harder.
It is a challenge to do a gaming table that I always love to tackle. So I've made many a table. A gaming table, you just have to have an extra well for all the stuff, and then an extra top to cover it up when you want to, eat your mac and cheese on it.
Yeah.
But I think for a lot of people, the issue is probably price. I mean, it takes hours and hours. So, a resin table that has a slab of wood and resin will sell for like $11,000, and a gaming table will have twice the moving parts. Right. So, to make it at a price point that people can afford and yet you can still make a living at, I think that's the delicate balancing act of any artist, frankly. So, but yeah, gaming tables are lovely and beautiful.
And how long does it take you to just do dice boxes?
Well, a dice box, the way I make it, so I take wood, all my woods are claimed, and it all gets machined to a rough finish with machine tools like a table saw and a planer, and but then all of the finish of the work, the miter joint has to be at exactly 45 degrees, and I have a special tool that I use to do that, a hand tool that will get an exact 45, and I add structural splines to my work, so all those extra details mean about 10 to 12 hours of work for each one. So a lot. I know it gets into the weeds of the wood terms a little bit, but basically I do a lot of extra elements that other people at a lower price point might not do, but my boxes last forever.
Okay. And what type of wood do you use?
I tend to work with things that are native to this area, being a reclaimed wood user. So here, a lot of walnut, a lot of Oregon white oak. I get a lot of cherry, and a lot of Doug fir, a lot of redwood. And some of those are hardwoods and some of those are softwoods. And but what I do is I try to just integrate things as much as possible. So, for example, I'll get a piece of wood. It was in a house. It's 115 years old. It has nail holes in it. And those nail holes are cool because the metal oxidizes the wood over time. So it'll create these really interesting color changes and striations.
Cool.
And so it's really about this particular piece of wood, what can I do to highlight the beauty of this piece? And so that's the challenge I always try to meet for myself with a piece of work, is how can I make it as unique as possible? And it's usually by, as silly as it sounds, but listening and looking at the wood and seeing what it's telling me it wants to, what shape it wants to be, and then I use it for that.
So what about balsa wood?
Great
Not
for
enough.
model making.
Yeah.
Great for crashing.
Right.
Horrible for...
Oh, really? Not very
Yeah.
durable.
Yeah.
huh?
Not durable. It's,
Okay,
you could
yeah.
hit it with your fingernails and make dents and stuff.
wow,
So
okay.
you want something a little bit more robust. Yeah.
So where you've been going to these different cons, and you're here at Dragonflight.
Yeah.
Where else can we find you?
I'm often in Portland. You can find me at a lot of Renaissance fairs. So I should probably plug the actual things that I'm going to be at,
Probably
right? So
should.
Yes.
And your website.
let's
and
see.
every-
I will be at RCCC in September.
Okay.
I'm going to be at a Renaissance fair in Hillsboro next week. And I'm at Geek Girl Con in November. And
Okay.
I love them.
Yeah.
Really great place to show your and catalog and meet people. And that's what's on the horizon here. And then Crafty Wonderland in Portland, which is sort of like a more craft focused rather than nerd focused fair.
Cool.
In December.
And you have a website?
I do, itemwoodworks.com. And actually, I guess if there's one other interesting thing about my work is I have an Instagram account at Item Woodworks, and each one of my designs in high D&D style, you can't just make a box. You got to make a character. So each one of my designs, I have a character, and then those characters voice the box. So on Instagram, I voice the character. They have a background story, and I write as them on Instagram. So that's the fun part for me.
So you just buying the box, or can you buy the box and the dice?
You can buy box and dice from me, usually live. I mean, I guess I can sell them to you on the website, but at the moment, you got to come and see me if you want to get some dice.
So here's something I've always wondered about, because I know there's a couple of woodworkers out there, but can you get a customized, like, for example, I'm playing a wizard, I'm going to roll a lot more D6s, right? Because gotta love that fireball.
Fireball,
right?
gotta have it.
So do you design your box like, hey, this is for a wizard? You know, I got the place where you can put more D6s than normal. Or...
I do think about that.
Okay.
So custom work is something I do all the time for people. Anything that's 10 inches long can very easily be 20 inches long and hold all of the D6s that you want to have in it. But oftentimes what I think about is depth. So I get a lot of Shadowrun players who buy my boxes, and that's a D6 focused game.
Right.
And so they'll roll like 30 D6. And so my boxes that can hold, they'll be 2 inches tall, so they can hold 30 D6s. And then the top of the box is the rolling tray. So you can literally go from one to the other. So, yeah, I do think about that. But and the world is someone's oyster. When it comes to wood, the only limiting factor is our collective imaginations. So usually it's a conversation for custom work. And as long as both people are happy and we look at the SketchUp design I make, so you can see the box in 3D, then we're good to go.
A lot of people don't think about the accessory side of tabletop gaming, but there's a lot of business out there.
It's fun. I love getting accessories and stuff.
And there's nothing wrong with the CNC machine or a laser printer.
Yeah.
It's just something where I don't have a lot of training in doing it. My training is in hand-tooled work, but there is a place and advantage for that. So if you can get a chunk of wood and then the robot can etch out, for example, 5 different channels to hold all of your D6s, then that might be what you need, and then that might be the maker that you want to get something from. For me, I would actually make different wood dividers, wood pieces, and I would actually plane each of those pieces and put them in. So what you get from me is something that would be beautiful, integrated, and would last for forever. You could pass it down. It's like you become a caretaker instead of an owner.
So now you got competitors out there, obviously. But what's your product? What just to kind of sell it with the viewers and listeners out there? What makes yours a little more special than
I would like to say that it feels nicer.
Yeah, so the big difference is usually sanding versus planing. So I use hand planes, and the difference is kind of like when you sand, it's like combing your hair, and when you plane, it's like cutting your hair off or shaving your face.
Okay.
So what that means is it feels more like glass. It just feels a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. Your edges are a little bit sharper.
Can you guarantee that you'll roll higher with your products?
Of course. I can definitely guarantee no money back. No, I can't guarantee that at all. I'm so sorry. But what I can guarantee is that the wood has a story.
Okay.
And that story is usually a place where it came from, a place where people thought it should be discarded, burnt, or thrown away. And then I take it, I look at it, and I make it beautiful, and it becomes a conversation about reuse, and it becomes a conversation about how any type of wood can be beautiful and cherished. So it becomes part of your life story. I got this box. Here's the story of this box. And when I pass it along to my daughter, my son, they will be able to use it and cherish it too, and have the story of you.
I can see that when I'm 90 years old and go, son,
this
is my dice box.
Yes. I will cherish it forever, Father.
I will
all
roll
of the
only
D20s.
20s.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got. You guys.
Well, that's great. No, it's exciting.
Hey, thanks so much for
thank
having
you.
me. I really appreciate
Cool.
it.
Good work.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Feel free to come by anytime. And,
You bet. So great meeting and talking to Kyle. Love Kyle. Kyle is a listener. Yeah. Awesome. And as being a person who comes from, who was a long line of woodworkers.
Jesus goes back to Jesus.
It goes back to Jesus. We used to build crosses for the Romans.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Back. Never mind.
Wow, that goes. Anyway, go on.
Thick.
It's got really weird.
I
Anyway,
love his
moving
work.
on.
His work is great. It's creative. It's interesting. It's so nice to touch. It feels really good to touch.
It's nice to touch
his
Kyle's wood.
Kyle's wood feels great in your hand.
Okay. Well, anyway, we also have another person we interviewed, David Gerrard.
I don't know what his wood feels like at all.
Well, he doesn't do wood.
Oh, that's right.
No, he does games. So, he's been great. Thank you, David, for coming on the show.
I love talking to David. It's like a party.
I know. He actually likes us, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
I bought one of his games, too, at PAX.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bards.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So let's
I did.
play it and then talk about it.
Yeah, we should do that.
Oh, are you getting the Rick and Morty thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
Should I?
Oh, we should do an unboxing.
Okay. Maybe we could do
I'll
that.
get it.
Who wants to run the adventure, though? Who wants to DM it?
I don't know what Rick and Morty is.
What?
I don't watch Rick and Morty.
What?
Wow. A lot.
Rebecca,
all guys
Rebecca,
watch Rick
do you
and
watch
Morty.
Rick and Morty?
No, but I'm
How
not
about
a dumb guy.
How about this? I will buy the box set, and you guys can do an unboxing.
Oh, well, that'd be interesting. Except
I
Rebecca would be like, I don't know what this is.
If you tell me you're going to do this unboxing, I will just Netflix the stuffings out of Rick and Morty.
Okay, okay. You haven't watched
Or
it
wherever.
either. Okay.
You're gonna watch
I thought you watched
It's
it.
hilarious.
No.
Okay.
Well, I watch it.
Well, it's
Is it
gonna,
the dude? I mean, he looks like the Back to the Future guy, but he's cartoon.
Yeah, kind of.
it comes out November 19th.
Yeah.
I'll watch a few.
All right.
Okay.
I'll give it a chance. I'm
Okay.
always open to.
You're probably gonna love it.
Yeah,
probably will.
I probably will.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you can check out David Gerrard's.
Oh, David
video.
Gerrard. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's do that now.
Okay.
Hey, geeks. We got a returning special guest, our longtime friend, David Gerrard. How's it going, David?
Awesome, good man.
Now, if you don't remember David, you should go check our previous podcast out. There's a lot of Davids in there.
Yes.
We've got, and he is the creator of Jung King, By Order of the Queen, Tyler Sigmund's Crows, and the latest Battle of the Bards. That is really cool. And we have watched David throughout his tabletop gaming design life.
Yes.
And by the way, again, this is the guy you gotta follow. If you want to be a tabletop game designer, David's the guy. you
Yeah.
gotta
It's nice of you to say. That's nice of you to say. I try to lead by example, I guess, a little bit. There's a lot of designers out there, and they very often come to me, and I just tell them, whatever your instincts are, just go with that, and don't let anybody get in your way. You're good to go.
Right.
Yep.
And David's also the prime example how you should still keep your day job.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be a
that's right.
millionaire being a game designer.
Yes, we have definitely talked about that in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell people that I do have a main job, but this is a side gig for me. But it is a great side gig, and I make really good side gig money. Right?
That's good.
But does not have health insurance.
That does not have health insurance. That is correct.
No.
Yeah. No, I have health insurance from the job that keeps the roof on, as I call
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the job that keeps the roof on. You always got to keep that job.
And there was a time, in fact, was it last year, year before, you were talking about, I think my company might be laying off a bunch of people.
Oh, right.
Remember that? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And I
Yeah.
felt bad. It's like, well, maybe I can hire you because I'm getting an opening.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, you definitely need to temper yourself. You need to budget yourself, and you need to recognize that there's not a lot of money in board gaming unless you're like at the top of some kind of pyramid.
Right.
And the way I kind of treat the people that I work with, I pay everybody that works with me what I get paid. So if the profit comes in at the end of a project, I then take that money and split it up evenly
wow.
and just give it to everybody on the team.
That's great.
So I remember when I first came up with that idea, my wife said to me, well, what if you have to give your graphic designer like $10,000
Yeah.
and he hasn't done $10,000 of work? And I said, yes, but if that happens, I get $10,000.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So and by doing that, I'm creating 3 or 4, 6 people in some cases that are like going as hard as I am to try to make this happen and promote the
Yeah.
game and everything going. So it's worked really well for me, and I advocate heavily for what I call the pirate ship mentality of running a game business.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and you've been schlepping your products. I've been seeing you at tons of
Oh,
conventions.
sure.
I don't think your wife and kids see you anymore.
Yeah, right.
Because you were at Gen Con last Gen Con you were
Yeah,
there.
yep.
We were following you on Facebook. I like to stalk you. I
You should.
I
You should definitely
I
stalk
know
me.
where you live too. I drive.
Nice. Yeah.
You're always out there, man. You're working.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do too. If you're interested in game
Yeah.
development, you have to do that.
Yeah, and I always advocate as well. You mentioned the family. I actually bring my daughters with me. They're 11 to 13, and what I do is I essentially set them up as like salesmen, right? And
Okay.
they
Awesome.
get to learn that aspect of seeing the gaming community. And the gaming community is such a great kind of community to have your kids grow up around, because everybody's so, very patient and very nice when they recognize, like, oh, there's a child in the community. Like, there's no, people are really receptive to, that kind of thing. I don't know how to describe this without being really cliche, but but yeah, everybody's just so nice to my daughters, and they hear the pitches, they understand the games, they play the games with my daughters, and everybody's just so incredibly nice. It's awesome to include them in that as well.
When we talk to you, we've talked to you so many times, but
Sure.
I remember you saying in the way you do your game development is you have one that you're pushing currently.
Yep. Yes.
You have one that you're about ready to do the marketing or Kickstarter.
Yep.
You're about ready to push
Yep.
that out.
Yep.
And then you have one that you've got kind of the concept on.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And when we did that, it was when you were doing, I think you were just ready to push out Tyler Sigmund's Crows.
Yep, that's right. Yeah,
But
that's
you're
right.
trying to sell. You're still selling, but doing Viola the Queen.
Yep.
Yep. Now your new one, Battle of the Bards.
Battle of the Bards, yeah,
You were
absolutely.
talking about the conceptual one. You were talking was Battle of the Bards, which is now out now.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit
Did
about
that,
that?
did that come out at Gen Con?
So we got it 2 weeks before Gen Con
Okay.
started. Yeah, it was a weird thing. We had no idea it was going to happen.
Oh, wow.
Definitely none of our backers knew it was going to happen, because I kept it secret, because I didn't believe it when the manufacturer was like, "You're going to get this on July 20th." And I was like, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
But then it showed up, and we were just over the top happy
Wow.
with the quality and how great the manufacturer was. And then obviously, then we showed it off at Gen Con for the first time.
Very cool.
Did really well there. Universally, people loving this game. And so with Bards, we shorthand everything. So with Bards, with Battle of the Bards. Battle of the Bards, 2 4 players. Battle of the Bards, it is foundationally, it's a deck builder game, but in the game you roll tons of dice. There's 60 dice in the box, but I kind of figure that everybody loves to roll dice, but nobody likes to roll dice and look down and realize they rolled badly, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I designed the game is in a way where when you roll, it doesn't really matter what you rolled. You kind of have a puzzle that kind of unfolds in front of you. So you'll see, like, oh, I got 3 1s. What can I do with that? Oh, I've got like a 2 and a 3 and whatever. And then you figure out what you're going to do with it. And then you're kind of in a race against other players to win the Battle of the Bards competition by using your dice correctly. In a normal turn, you'll roll somewhere between 5 to 12 dice. It's pretty normal. And then, of course,
Cool.
picking up that many dice at once and throwing them is always fun.
Yes.
So yeah, Battle of Bards came about as a dad pun, and so it's the dad pun that became a game. And it's great. I have a buddy in my game group that loves to roll dice but hates deck builders. So I made this game to be like, let's see what's going to happen. Let me see you hate this game, but he loves it. So
And I noticed you with Tyler Sigmund's Crows, it was a little diversion from your universe that you've created.
Yes, yeah.
And you've come back, Battle of the Bards comes back to that
Yes.
universe. That's one thing we haven't talked about is that
Yep.
Tessendor universe that you have.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, because that seems
Yeah.
to be your go-to thing.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. So I kind of very early, when we were thinking about this, I made Junking. It was set in the comic book world that Justin made, and then we went to Bard of the Queen as our second one. And I said to Justin, I said, my artist, if I tell you that 25 years from now we would have, and of course this is really lofty, but I'm aggressive. So I said, if I tell you 25 years from now you're going to have the Warhammer Fantasy universe, wouldn't you start working on it today, right? Like, what? Wouldn't you do that?
Right.
Anybody in the game industry, you say that to them, they're like, yeah, I'd start working right now on that. If I knew 25 years from now, that's what I'd have. So
I'm ready to buy my minis right now and do battle.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, don't get me started. So, spoiler alert. Don't look. Yeah. No. So, we can talk about that in a second. So basically, the Tessendor universe was a way that we wanted to make a family-friendly fantasy universe that we can build games into. So if we have a game that we want to work on that could nudge up against that could use a fantasy theme, we can keep building into the same theme. Justin's art is so great and so whimsical and cute that it's really easy to just continue to build into that world as we build new games. So Battle of the Bards seemed like obviously Battle of Bards, it seemed like a perfect way to bring Tessendor back and be like, all right, let's just keep the cute creatures coming in. So
Cool.
the cover has like this cute badger
I
character.
love it.
Oh, those are
I love
Yeah,
it.
and she's
I like badgers.
the badger character is our flagship character for that. So we made
Okay.
pins for her.
We have it right here.
Oh yeah. I see it in post. Yeah.
That's right,
No,
that's right.
and so let me see what we got here. Here it is. Oh, Battle Bards.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
so we've got the little badger character, and of course like little frog guy and the alligator guy, and so in everything that we do, he does those anthropomorphic creature things really well, and it's just fun to do that, and it keeps it all light and keeps it fun and again family friendly.
Now you went about the mechanics battle of bards, but
Yeah.
it's like let's talk about like how does it begin? You choose a bard.
So what happens is everybody. So it's just like any other deck builder,
Okay.
you're gonna start with the same cards everybody else has.
Okay.
And so your cards are all bards, and they're all basic bards. And so much like you do in other deck builders, you kind of want to get rid of those cards eventually as the game progresses and replace them with more what we call veteran
Right.
bards. And the veteran bards have their crazy abilities. All the basic bards just give you more dice when you use them.
So I see one now. It's like the musician, right?
Yes,
That's
the musician. Yeah.
okay.
So we're looking on the website here. So yeah, we've got a musician there, and basically you can see on the left there it shows a little 4 with a little down arrow. So that
Yeah.
means that you can put any dice on there that is 4 below, and then right next to it you see that it gives you a yellow die. So yeah, very basic. When you start out, the game kind of like it's almost like the game has a first turn tutorial, right? Where it like teaches you how to start the game. You're like, okay, I see. I'm building dice. I'm creating performances. I'm using the dice to fuel everything, and then eventually you start buying veteran bards. And by the end of the game, you're just dropping bombs on each other. Like, watch this, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
just like you do in
Okay.
games like Dominion and things like that. By the end of the game, you're like super proficient and doing crazy stuff. And so yeah, that's basically the structure like of the game. I always jokingly say that it is a deck builder, but it's more like a deck nudger because you only get rid of or add one card at a time. So in most deck builders, you can like get rid of whole hands. You can like add, buy multiple cards.
Right.
But this game is you're kind of marathoning the deck builder part. So eventually you'll get to a better team. But it's really about rolling tons of dice.
Now, how did you? This was Kickstarted,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay. And then you had it at Gen Con, which is great.
Right, yep.
So we talked about you always have one you're in developing.
Yep.
What's the next thing, man?
So the
you
next
want to
thing,
reveal it right here.
Yeah,
on this
exactly,
Cascadia.
exactly, right. Yeah. So the next one, I'll give you the next one, and I'll give you the next 2 ones. So
Oh,
see,
oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, I'm always like, yeah, I'm
God, you're
always,
cool. The other ones just
right.
folks won't even tell us.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Sometimes, so I do have a couple things I cannot tell you because I literally have a title for a game that like if I
Okay.
put out in the ethos, it's going to get snatched up.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So I can't. I don't
Maybe
even,
after
I don't,
this?
I don't even whisper that one into my pillow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. So yeah. The next thing we're working on is called Slip Strike. It's this one right here that we're showing here. Basically the box is very like kind of like 1940s, 1950s style. Justin's doing the artwork for that one as well. But Slip Strike is a 2-player game. We were both playing assassins, trying to take each other out, and you both have access to teleportation and time traveling.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Definitely
sold.
not in the same
I am
universe.
sold.
Yeah, definitely not in the same universe, right?
Right,
Yeah, what's funny
okay.
is that I have many people that I just say that line.
That's
They're
all I
like-
need to
They're
know.
like, yeah, how much is that game? And I'm like, hold up, I even told you what's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but basically, with all the events and stuff like that you've told me, you noticed, I go to tons of events.
You do,
We have
yeah.
so many people that come up to us that are couples. They'll be like, oh, my husband or wife, they also play games with me. Do you have people? Do you have a game for 2 people?
Yes,
And-
that's how
Yeah.
my relationship works with
Yep,
my wife.
exactly.
We like a game. We go drink a couple beers.
Yep.
Play it once or twice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And that's so we don't have that game in our lineup. And
Yeah.
so Slip Strike fits that bill. Game plays 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
I would
Awesome.
actually say I've seen 5-minute games. Like if you both have played the game before, like if you go over 10 minutes, that's gonna be rare.
How much does it spread out? Like, can you sit
Oh
at
yeah.
a bar?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. In
That's
fact,
where,
yeah.
that's where we do it.
Yep.
Yeah, you had me at 2
Yep,
players.
exactly. So this is the whole. So I'll just take out some of the things here, but you
And
can
this
kind
is
of see.
assuming we have people drinking on either side of us that we don't want
Yes.
to get in
Yep.
that person.
So what you're
is your
doing?
prototype
This
that
is
you
our
got?
prototype right
Oh,
here.
wow.
So this is the board,
Okay.
like those 5 cards right there. And then what ends up happening is I won't go like in super
Just
detail.
Put your beer right in the center.
Yeah, right on top of it,
right.
and then you spill your beer on your components, and yeah. So very simply, you then each have a hand of 10 cards, and you use the cards in this kind of this little cat and mouse style game, where absolutely, where you're basically trying to set up shots, you're setting up strike zones on your opponent while trying to avoid their strike zones, and so. We've had this game kind of came about as an idea. This one and Battle of the Bards were the first ones I kind of designed from the bottom up. That started with how I wanted the player to feel. Like so with Battle of Bards, I wrote down on a piece of paper like I want to make it feel like when you roll your dice, you're looking at a puzzle, right?
Yeah.
And I want you to not be beholden to your die rolls. Like if I roll, there's no rolling bad, right? The
Okay.
top thing for the game. For this one, I want people to feel Like the game's intensity increases as the game goes on.
Okay.
And
Like a movie.
like yes,
Yeah.
and,
Jenga.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's good. That's actually a really good example, actually, because like at the beginning, Jenga is boring, right? You're like, I'm just
Right.
doing that. That's easy. But at the end of the game, you're like, oh, like
Yeah.
every play is like, oh.
Right.
Exactly, and that's what happens with this one. As you take strikes, you lose the ability to move around the board, and you lose the ability to slip out of a potential strike, and then you'll kind of be in peril where we'll be playing the game, and then if I've got like so what happens is there's teleport cards. If you take a strike in a zone, then you have to discard a card to use it as a time travel, and then you have to discard the card permanently. Eventually, you'll run out of the ability to get out of it.
Okay.
So then you're holding no outs, and you're still trying to get strikes on your opponent to
Right.
get them. And so towards the end of the game, it's like super intense.
Could you still be bluffing? Like your opponent
There's-
would know that you
no,
had no.
there's no, because you
is it
actually
a game
see
of bluffery.
No, it's
also?
you see
Yeah.
what's on the board. It's a lot of like guessing what your opponent's going to do. I've had a lot of people explain say that it feels like a very complicated version of rock paper scissors, but you like
Okay.
it's like you're playing. It's like you put down a card that says rock, and you're like, I really hope you don't play paper right now. And you're like, oh man, if you play paper right now, I'm screwed. And so, but there's like kind of like 4 layers. So whatever, rock, paper, scissors,
Spock.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, exactly. So it's a little bit like that. That's kind of what the gameplay feels like. But as the game progresses, like it gets more critical that you win that round. And there's lots of moves that you can do, and we've added a lot of like cool ideas around like replayability. And so we're really excited about this one. This one started playtesting it around May, and this one's coming out really quickly because the game is so simple. It's going to be like 6 lines of instructions. It's going to be a one sheet
Cool.
of rules, and we'll probably kickstart this in probably about 2 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming quick.
That is
It's
great.
coming
That's
quick.
I
great.
want one.
Yeah. So this one will only be $15 as well, which is going to be great for again our library of games, right?
So what about the stretch goals? What do you think about stretch goals?
So we have a bunch of ideas for this one. One of the, like obviously you can do component upgrades, right? And
Right.
and anytime that it looks like we can sell enough that we can like upgrade the components without biting us too hard on actual costs, we'll do it. But we have some ideas around additional cards. So like the basics of the game is that you only have these 3 weapons. So as stretch goals, we can add other different weapons and make it so that just to change the game up a lot. We'll
you come to their house and play it. That could be a
Yeah,
stretch
no,
goal.
yeah, stretch goal. Dave Gerrard comes to your house and eats your food. What's up?
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, stretch goal. If we hit $20, my team will have a pizza party, and we'll.
All right. Great.
And we might show you, on Facebook. I don't know.
Right.
So yeah, no, but we do a lot of fun things like that as well. But we always try to figure out ways that we can increase stretch goals and stretch goals are looking to we're looking to add more content to the gamers, and then also make it so that the game's more replayable. And so as we continue to unlock stretch goals, as we have in all of our games, that's what we do. So yeah, we're looking for that. But we don't really know where we're going to be on this one because $15 game is weird. 2-player games is also like you're kind of nichey.
Yeah.
So we don't know where we're going to stand on this one, but I know it's going to be made because we're committed to getting it done and getting it out there. So
Cool.
Do you feel a little more at ease because this is going to be your 4th or 5th one,
Right,
and
yep.
you feel kind of like old hat. You're kind of professional at this now.
yeah, right. I get caught every once in a while when I'm talking to other designers, and this is my 5th title and my 7th Kickstarter that I've run because I've done a couple for Justin's art, and I have to remember to not be super arrogant about
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is it's not that I'm arrogant about me. I'm so confident in Justin's work that like if Justin puts his art on a game, I feel that it will sell.
Yeah.
Like that's it, right? And so it's not that I'm super confident in my own abilities. It's just that the team that I've constructed, they work so well together that everything we put out is so good quality. It's a slam dunk almost every time for us. And so I'm confident that we're going to that if we put it up on Kickstarter, that we'll fund. I just don't know how much. Right, I don't know how far we're going to go.
Right,
I have no
yeah,
idea.
right.
And just getting the game out there is great. I really enjoy having my name on a box, obviously. And I just want to, I always jokingly say I'm an artist, I'm an author, kind of, right? And I want people to read my book. I want people to look at my art and not puke,
Yeah.
So
we could do the forward for you. Geeks of Cascade says this is awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah, I need it. I need it. We're gonna need those reviews. So, yeah, no, I'm confident. I think that's what
Okay.
you're asking, right? It's like
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
confident, yeah. And I'm confident. I'm confident in a good way that makes it so that I feel like we can gamble every once in a while, that we can risk, we
Yeah.
can take some risks, and like go really for the throat on like giving the customers what they want and making sure that they're getting good value.
So what's the? You said you got another 2 out there.
Yes.
So you want?
So
you
2
said
more.
you're willing
Let's
to
see.
reveal it.
So here it is. So we got another one coming called Long Ships. It's a pick up and deliver style game where the pickup part is Vikings raiding.
Okay.
So you go out and then you raid with your Vikings. You actually load your boat up. You go out and then you raid, and then you bring all the goods back and sell them. And you're basically in a race against the other Viking tribes
Okay.
to try to get the most goods and bring them back and please Odin.
Is this? So it's away from the universe.
Oh yeah,
you're
definitely,
doing, okay.
definitely. So this one we're actually because Justin's not because Justin has a very whimsical art style and he's working on other games for me. We have another artist we're bringing in that's very good with like drawing human faces and drawing them very
Okay.
realistic. So we're trying to do a more realistic play on this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the original designer on Long Ships. That's another game from Tyler Sigmund who
Okay.
made Crows. And he's a big Viking, he loves the Viking
Mm-hmm.
lore, and so I wanted to make this game for him as well, where he can be happy with the fact that we've kind of been as true as we can be to the Viking lore. And then working with the artist, he's read a lot of really cool stuff that we don't make it, we can keep it inclusive, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously that's a big goal for us, us being Seattle
Sure,
Lights and
sure.
everything like that. So it's been great seeing his art coming out, and we're really excited about that one. The fun thing on that one is that it's very Tetris-like.
Okay.
So you have like a boat, and then you get these resources, and you have to like fit them on your boat. And people
okay.
really love that part
Do you
of
have an
it.
actual boat?
It actually, so it's gonna be like a two-ply
the
thing.
fun. I like
It's like a, remember if you played Scythe, right, where they have the two-ply, and then you could drop the thing in it. It's like that.
Okay.
Yep. And it'll be like
Okay.
recessed in, and you could like slip them all in there, and yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
So yeah, and I played that game. Tyler has been working this game for like 10 years, and he just never got it out there. And I was like, hey, let's do it because I like it a lot.
So where are you on the development? You get the mechanics all
Yeah.
set. You're just working on the art and maybe some playtesting, or
Yeah, a lot of play testing still, right? A lot
Okay.
of just I like to get feedback from people. I like to hear honest feedback. In fact, one of the things that I do is I play my games into Playtest Northwest, which is very strong for playtesting your games. And then when people start to fill out the paperwork for like what they thought of the game, I run away. I step out completely because I don't want them to do the thing that everybody does. No one's gonna tell you to your face like, hey,
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
very good. They're very good at telling
you might
me-
be the one out of like about 100 people. that do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
I don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
Very
if I
comfortable
write it
doing
down and hand it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly. Even handing the paper to
Yeah.
you is weird, right? For
I
something
give them
like that.
surveys after we finish a mini campaign that I run.
Oh, yeah.
and to get back.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're very good at telling me I suck. so-
Yeah, no, yeah, that's,
Yeah, no, it's
yeah, and so I need to know that. Like I need to know that the game doesn't do what it wants to do, and so
Right.
when I do play testing, I basically say this is what you should be feeling, this is what you should feel, this is what I want you to feel, and then at the end of the game, I'd be like, well, if I didn't adhere to that, let me know.
Right.
You know?
So
Yeah.
again, this is your 5th game.
Yeah.
And at what point is it more of a feeling or
Right.
a certain amount of data where you go, okay, that's it, I'm done with playtesting. I've redone this. I'm now going to marketing. I'm pushing this out.
Yeah.
So-
I think that keys into the last thing I said, which is like when I'm telling people like this is how you should feel when you play this game, and this is what you should get, and then they say yes.
So
right?
it's okay.
Like I'm just
Okay.
getting universal. Like, yep,
Yeah.
you've done it. You've done exactly what you said. Like you put this game in front of me. You said this is what's going to happen. I played the game. I enjoyed it, and yes to everything you said.
Okay.
All right.
Have you
So
ever,
it's
have
kind
you
of a
ever
feeling,
not
right?
released a game because you never got
Oh,
to
Buyer
that
the Queen!
point?
Buyer the Queen! Like it, we had like a date for Buyer the Queen. We're gonna put this on Kickstarter in August. Definitely. And then we went and we did some more playtesting, and people were like, nope. And then we pushed it back, and we did. I think we did like an April one in the next year.
Did you ever
Yeah.
have like a mechanic or a rule or something there where you went, oh yeah, people are gonna love this, and then people just hated it and
Oh
you
yeah,
change it?
Oh, yeah.
happened to
So
you?
here's the story on Battle of the Bards.
Okay.
Battle of the Bards. I was moving a game of Sagrada around, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this game. It's got so many dice in it. I'd love to make a game with dice. And then it weird like epiphany happened. And within 24 hours, I made Battle of the Bards. And I was like, I'm a super genius. I've done it.
I'm David Gerrard.
You're welcome, everybody. And then I put the prototype together, like I was handwriting, like, oh, this is the best. And then I brought it to my team, and they were like, garbage. This is garbage.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Oh,
so I was,
heartbreak.
yeah, exactly. But of course, that's you need that. You need that humbling. Nobody makes a game in 24 hours. Get out of here. So, but I had mechanics in that I was like, this is going to blow people's socks off, and they were like, no, this does not work in any way. So
See, that would crush me. I guess you gotta have a thicker skin.
Right.
Oh yeah, I can. My joke is
Like
that
you
you have to
hate
be
it.
willing to take a punch, and I got a punchable
Right.
face. I can do it. I can take punches.
So you did it. Okay, so you get the Viking ones. There's one more. You said you had two. So the
Yes.
Viking, what's the other
So
one?
the next one after that,
Is this the one you whisper in your pillow?
no. So,
No, it's
so
the one after that.
Yeah. So yeah. I've got it. So we were talking about miniatures games.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have a couple expansions coming. So we're going to do an expansion for Bards.
Okay.
I'm mostly bringing it up just because I got to tell you the name of the expansion. It's called No Holds Barred.
Nice.
Oh.
Okay. Yes,
very
thank you.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
very
Thank you.
Old Bards.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love it.
You're welcome.
Get it?
Yeah.
good.
So No Holds Barred, and in fact, in that one, it's going to be a lot more brutal, a lot more like attacking
Copyright
each other.
David Gerrard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
copyright
goes
David
there.
Gerrard. Exactly. Yeah, and then we have we're going to potentially do an expansion for Crows. But then I do have a game. I've got a lot of people asking for us to make a miniatures game inside the Tessender universe. We're trying to figure out how to do it without being ridiculous. We're trying to do something where we're not like, here's a box for $180. You know, we're trying to do it like in a way that is smart and makes it so that people that enjoy the Tessender universe, typically we're talking still about families again.
Sure.
No family wants to spend $180 on a board game. So I mean that's a gamer game, right? And I love making gamer games, but I need to be true to our audience. We get true to the people that that really love that universe. So we're trying to make a miniatures game in that. And so we do. I don't want to say Dungeon Diver. Similar to a Dungeon Diver, but it has a bunch of different mechanics that will make it feel not like a Dungeon Diver.
Oh, kind
Okay.
of an RPG type feel to it?
A little bit,
or-
yeah.
okay.
It'll definitely have a legacy feel, but not legacy where you rip up cards and stuff like that. So it'll have a
Okay.
campaign-like feel, but not a straight Dungeon Diver with like lots of miniatures.
Okay.
Right.
I'm assuming you're probably at the mechanic stage.
We're
in
at the
role
very
making,
early
right?
prototype
Okay.
phase. Yeah, we don't even have a prototype made for that yet. I have a spreadsheet with a bunch of numbers.
Okay.
Yep, totally. And like notes of like,
Right.
this is what I want to do. And again, I write my notes like, this is what I want customers to feel. This is how I want them to interact with the game. I want them to feel this way. I want them to say, this is awesome. I want them to hate this part. I want them, like even with Slipstrike, I was like, very early on, I wanted to reward aggression. So people will give me suggestions on how you can change this game.
I just keep loving you more and more.
Right? Yeah. So people give me suggestions on Slipstrike, and they're like, "What about a card that does this?" And I'm like, "Well, that sounds like a defensive card." And I want you to be like, I don't want you to ever be like, "Oh, I can just sit back and do nothing this round." Like, it's aggression.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So basically, this game,
Yeah.
the Slipstrike,
Yep.
will either bring people together or
Yes.
cause divorces.
Yes.
Or both.
Okay.
You know what's
All
funny
right.
though is that I thought for sure when I was making a two-player game,
Yeah.
I had, and this is another game that we are working on, but it's far out. So I had a two-player game that was asymmetrical gameplay, where one person's a hacker, the other person's an agent. You're working together to like break into a facility and get something out. And I started pitching that game, and I was working on the game. I was prototyping that game, and then I would talk to couples, and as soon as I would say cooperative, one of the two would go, right? You know, like, and then I'd look and be like, "What's up?" And they're like, "Well, I like to beat my husband up, like when we're playing games." And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And so then I kept getting that feedback over and over and over again. It was like, "Oh no, we don't play cooperative games together, like at all. We just trounce each other. We just pounce on each other all
See,
the time."
I feel like this would be a
need-
great game for me and my wife because she's
Right.
she'd play it and she'd be like, I didn't want to hurt you, so I played this card.
Yeah.
No,
No.
you're
Yeah,
supposed
exactly,
to. You're
exactly.
supposed
Yeah,
to hurt me.
you gotta
This will
bring her
out
into the
aggressor.
yeah,
in me.
That's a way to
exactly.
Because I
maintain
have no
dominance.
mercy.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
don't want to hurt
yeah.
me.
It's like we when we're at conventions and stuff, we get together, we play a lot of Dungeon Mayhem
Right.
while we're waiting,
Right.
and it is just pound on
Yep.
someone.
Yeah.
You just choose
Yeah.
somebody and they get pounded.
Yep,
And
yeah,
we
absolutely.
love it.
Yep, absolutely.
great.
So that's why this game came forward like it did. We have so many people that that just play two-player game, or they just have the opportunity to play two-player games more often. They want to beat up on each other. So yeah.
You know, David, there's one thing that we haven't talked about,
Yep.
and something I really love about you. No, this is good.
Comes the
This is
spirit.
good.
The spirit.
It's
Talk about
good.
the
You're
spirit.
jealous.
He's going to propose.
Well, I am jealous. I like to think that I helped with that.
Yes.
The fact that you give back.
Yeah,
So
I
you're
try.
you're with Playtest Northwest.
Sure.
And they were telling me how you came back with a bunch of
Oh, yes.
stuff for
Yeah,
them
yeah,
to
yeah,
hand out.
absolutely.
So the fact that you're helping these other
Yeah.
designers and game developers that have these hopes and dreams and turning to
Sure.
Playtest Northwest, and you're there to help them out. And I think that's really cool.
I try, and the thing is that when I first stepped into the game industry, I had multiple people do that with me as well. All of them, everybody's so nice here; it's ridiculous, and so it's, if I weren't to do that, then I would be betraying those people, right?
Yeah.
So, you gotta have a big heart, and there's no, I always jokingly, you meet people that are not like that sometimes, that are like at my level or above me, and you're like, how do you, in your own head, how do you really believe that, like, if I sell a game, that you don't sell a game?
Yeah.
Like, gamers only buy
Yeah.
one game.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
yeah, exactly. People Gen Con halls are like 300 games.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. So I there's no reason why I wouldn't, right? There's no reason why I can't be as helpful as I can. People come up to me and they say, it seems like you have a path to victory here, and I say, well, I'll lay out my path in front of you. You can see it. It's probably not going to be your path, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, everybody
Right.
has things they're willing to do and willing not to do, and things they're not comfortable doing. Like, I'm not saying like illegal things. I mean things like just
Yeah.
even talking to people on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Some people just don't like to do that,
Yeah.
and so you got to figure out your path to victory. And everybody's got one. You got a path to victory out there, 100%. You just got to find it.
I think it helps that you're a salesman. I mean, you're
Yeah,
just
a little
good. You
bit.
love talking to people.
I
I know
love
you
it.
had a
I
game
love it.
store at one point.
I did.
know you're really good at that.
Yeah.
So the other decision game developers make
Yeah.
is, do they go to a publisher or they self-publish?
Oh, yes.
You self-publish. You go to Kickstarter.
I've been called a self-publishing evangelist.
Yes.
More than once.
A lot of them that we've talked to here, they're really nervous about, they're
Yeah.
scared about, and they
Yeah.
want to try to go to a publisher.
Right.
Why do you choose the direction you choose?
Freedom.
Freedom. I
joke,
love it.
yep, freedom.
America. Right here.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I jokingly, I tell people this all the time. When you meet people for the first time, they often ask you what you do, right?
Right.
And you answer, "Oh, I'm a software engineer," or whatever. So I say, I do what I want.
Yeah.
I do what I want.
Yeah.
And then they go, "Yeah, you're weird." And I'm like, "Let me explain. I do what I want because I run my own pirate ship, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, in this little pirate ship adventure I'm doing. And so that freedom is monstrous, and it is why I'm advocating for self-publishing all the time. So when people come to me with their titles that they want me to publish, they'll be like, "Oh, well, it looks like you're doing good. This is a family-friendly game. It would totally fit in your library. Go." I'm like, "You don't want me to do this because I'm just going to take your money.
Yeah.
I'm going to take all your money. I'm going to put my name on the box, and like you've done all this work. Like
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
Just push it a little bit farther, and you're in. And sometimes it is about being bold enough to make what I call 3 phone calls, right? So you call a manufacturer, if you're the designer, you call a manufacturer, you call a artist, you call a graphic designer, and you're going.
Yeah.
Just be bold enough to make those 3 phone calls. And so
It's easier to just go to you.
yeah, right? I know, right? Yeah, and so sometimes you have to kind of, nudge people over that edge and hope they can get there. But again, that goes to what I was saying before about the path to victory, right? Sometimes, people don't want to do that, or they they cannot do that for any number of reasons, right?
Have you given advice to a developer where they made it big? Can you think of anyone? And then you got jealous, like, oh man, I'm just joking.
I do. We in the gaming community at the level that I'm at, everybody is so nice to each other. We cross promote for no reason. We're just it's like we're all cheerleaders for each other. So when people start blowing out of the park, my position is always like, I knew it. Right? Like I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like they'll start their game and they'll be showing me their game and they'll be like, this is a $60,000 game on Kickstarter. And they're like, no. And I'm like, I dare you. I dare you to put this on Kickstarter, watch what happens. And then it's like 85. And I'm like, I told you.
Awesome.
Like I told
Awesome.
you,
Wow.
So
Okay.
so it's not that like I'm advising them. It's more like I'm just kind of like near them, cheerleading for them, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
cool. Now, do you ever see yourself leaving the normal job that you have, or you're going to continue this route, or are you going to
Right.
join a publisher?
You
maybe?
said something about paying for your roof. So
Yeah.
I feel like if you were
Yeah.
in a warm climate, you didn't need a roof.
I gotta go to LA.
And you were healthy forever.
You know what's
then-
funny is I got a buddy that lives in Kentucky and he keeps telling me, he's like, rents here cheap. You can get a house for like almost nothing,
Yeah.
and then you can make games here. You
Yeah.
live right next
There
to me,
you
buddy.
go.
Yeah.
So and again, the hot climate, right?
I don't want to lose you though. There's
Yeah.
other important benefits.
Yeah. So no, but yeah, I don't think so. I think that the level at which I'm at as far as producing these titles, it proves that I can run small teams to do great things.
Cool.
So that translates well into other jobs, and it would not be hard for me if I lost this job or the job I currently have. It would not be hard for me to translate that into something new, right?
Okay.
And so, I do enjoy the 9 to 5 as well. just because the people I work with and everything. And so this is a great side gig. I'm making great side gig money, but it's not gonna. I don't know that it would ever, unless we had some crazy monster hit.
Right.
Yeah.
Which you can't bank on that. So,
Sure.
But we're enjoying the path we're on. So, yeah.
Dave, it's always a pleasure to talk
It
to
is.
you. I mean,
Awesome.
this is a full episode. This is
Hey, here we
great.
go.
So
Here we go.
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, and hopefully we'll see you again. You're going to go at PAX West, I'm sure.
I will be at PAX West. I'll be at
All
PAX
right.
Unplugged.
Okay.
I'll be at OrcaCon.
Excellent.
All the
That's
things.
why we love you, man.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, David. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Good luck on this next one.
Absolutely.
I like that guy. I like that David Gerrard guy, and I love that game, that Slip Strike. I want to get that.
Yes, I can't. Do Slip Strike now,
want
please.
that.
Just get it done and put it out. I really want to play this game.
David, please.
She's always thinking of new games, man.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And
What's-
he said
how
he'll
would he-
remember us if he gets famous.
Yeah.
Well, he's already famous.
might.
In my book, he's famous.
How do you get that kind of brain that does
I-
that?
it was-
That's
yes.
that creative.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You just get after it, I think.
I guess some are
Mm-hmm.
players and some are designers.
Yeah.
I guess that's,
And other losers do podcasts.
Yes, that's right.
That's us.
Yep.
Yay.
Bye. Thanks for watching and listening.
yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Tonight's D&D night.
It is. It's back to you being
It
DM.
is back to me. Tell us about how you been doing. What you been doing?
I love
Well,
always DMing.
It was super fun.
He's working his voices a little. Sorry.
I need to work on my voices a little
okay.
bit, but we haven't really encountered too many people to talk to. Actually,
You're running the Essentials kit, right?
I am doing the starter set,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hopefully mix in some things from the Essentials adventure. But right now we're just kind of, it's like our second thing that we're doing. Period. I need players that are willing to look for hidden doors a little bit. That would help a little
That's
bit.
fun. I've never been a cleric
Like,
before. I was able to bless people here and kill
Yeah,
ones
everyone's
there
doing
and
something a
kill-
little bit
yeah,
weird.
Very
it was
unlike
great.
you to help.
I know. It felt
Instead of
good.
just smash. Rebecca smash.
I smashed a bit too.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Clerics are fun.
Awesome.
It was super fun.
We should do a review.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you
well,
ran
Do you
a couple
have
of
Do you have
them.
any printouts or handouts? Quizzes?
Yes, I have. There's going to be a pop quiz. No, it was like, although this is an adventure that came out in 2015.
It's okay. We've done a few.
I have-
White Plume Mountain came out like
Well,
in the 80s.
yeah, but it was re-released as a fifth edition.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
update a little bit.
Sure, we could. It's like we're just barely into it. We're like level 2.
I haven't played yet.
Yeah, you haven't.
I will. I think
may-
when the
You
other
have a
Steve,
character in there. Is
I
that
do.
correct? It's
Yeah, I do.
Tabaxi something.
Yeah,
Or something.
yeah.
He didn't even know it.
Tree climber meow meow.
I was like,
think
are we-
it's his
Sexy
name.
tabaxi.
Yes. Yeah, I like cats. I like bards.
Yeah.
Why not play a cat?
But now we're back to your thing. You're creating yourself out of whole cloth.
Yes,
That's going to be on
really
DM's
hard.
Guild Win.
Oh, soon, soon. And I'm gonna make so much money.
So
In
much-
fact, I'm gonna make podcast
Yeah,
money.
exactly. Yeah,
That's right.
It's like pay what you want.
That's right.
Does that mean we're all getting a raise?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Hello. I help my friends.
That's right.
I lift all boats and then sink them. Well, I think that's it for our show. I don't
Yep.
think we have anything else.
I don't think so.
So,
But by the way,
yes.
everybody who listened and watched the last episode, we had a big bump in the last episode.
did.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
we don't know why.
No, but
Did you
but
mistake
thank
us
you.
for something else?
Yes, this isn't Vlog Brothers.
Right.
Oh, a big bump. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
did.
what the hell.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of listens and views on the, which was thank you so much.
'cause we're
Please,
awesome.
if you're still watching or listening, like and share and review.
How do you know it wasn't one crazy person watching
We
us
don't,
50
really.
times?
We don't know. But
Crazy like a
there's one
awesome
person
fan.
in Henderson, North Virginia, who's been listening to 20 of our episodes so far.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you. Keep listening. By the way, please look at me. Look at me.
Dude, dignity, man.
Please, no, I'm
Steve,
desperate.
they're listening.
I'm very desperate. Please rate us on
Yes.
iTunes or Google Play, wherever you. I said rate.
Well, your
Check
enunciation
out,
is
check.
sometimes-
Just rate us 5 stars. If you didn't like us, you can say bad things, but give us 5 stars.
And Kyle and David, please share this on the
Yes.
internet things,
It helps.
in the social medias.
Yes. It gives us good feelings. I
Yes.
guess. Makes us feel
Get
good
this
what
warm
we're doing.
feeling,
Makes us
like
feel
like
good.
like from this beer that I'm drinking.
You can make 3 humans feel good. What you drinking there?
I am drinking a Kung Pao stout from Stillwater Artisanal. It is a little bit spicy. It's really good. Not quite
I
chocolatey.
may try it yet now that I'm in
Yeah, it's a
the-
little bit
I'm in the-
spicy.
I have no idea what I drank. It was the
We
same
are
thing you're
drinking the Transporter,
Transporter.
but I can't remember where it's
that's
from.
nice.
Did you catch that on your way in?
I don't remember where it's
Some
from. I'm
Portland
sorry.
brewery. I
Okay,
can't
well that
remember. It's a
narrows
brewery in
it.
Portland. So,
And
Some
of
guy with a
course,
beard
we are
makes it.
here at Around the Table. Thank you, Tim Morgan.
Thank you, Tim.
and
Thank you, Nick.
For
Thank you,
having us
Gwen.
come back here.
And Reese.
Tim,
And
Nick,
Reese.
Gwen, Reese.
Yes. Well, with that, we've got a game to do.
That's right.
So embrace the nerd, and I hope you make that saving throw.